And we are back. It's time to carry on our merry way. We're just a third of the way through the evening, and now it's time to start our second series. The LA Valiant are going to be taking on the Chengdu Hunters to see who walks away victorious. The Valiant still have a chance of being able to make it into the play-ins, but both of these teams are at risk from being knocked out completely and not seeing any part of the postseason.
Yeah. And none of these three teams can make the playoffs automatically. Obviously, they're all playing for one of the final play-ins positions possible. And none are safe. The only two teams that are guaranteed safe for play-ins, if not playoffs, are Philadelphia Fusion and the Hangzhou Spark. We already know that Shanghai and Seoul have locked in playoffs, cannot leave number 1 and number 2 seeds. And for Valiant, currently sitting in 7th place, they are dead last, 2 points behind the Guangzhou Charge, so it is do or die. Dare I say, pretty much every single game is kind of like a must-win for them. So let's go ahead and meet the LA Valiant. Bit of a fun fact between these two teams is because neither of them have played in a tournament so far this year, Hunters and Valiant have met 3 times, and would you believe that the Valiant actually have a positive win rate, 2-1. Out of the 3 times they've met, Valiant have won twice.
Well,
that's
there you
wild,
go.
But it's true.
Can they get a third is the question, or can the Chengdu Hunters perhaps tie up the score? We'll have to just wait and find out, but here's going to be our starting 5. Marvel, again, going to be in here with the rest of the squad, with Easy Han and Becky bringing things up in the DPS positions.
Yeah, one of the greatest wins that we actually saw so far in this particular stage was the Valiant win versus Philadelphia Fusion, which, to the dismay of, I think, every Philly fan, it was a pretty tragic loss for them. But I think the bounce back has been, in equal measure, very good for the Philadelphia Fusion, and they're looking pretty reasonable right now. And also, yeah, Marvel Cam. For the first time this season, we get the Marvel Cam. So I really want to zoom in on the fact that I think Marvel has had some pretty decent gameplay over the course of the Valiant run so far, and I made the very strong remark about the Valiant after the first week, saying this could be like a legitimate top 3 team. And this is a team that's looking kind of deadly. They had a very close 0-3 loss to Seoul, given that every map was kind of to the brink. Becky has been ridiculous on the Tracer. Molly's Anna has been fantastic, and Dia came in on the Junkertown and beat M3 in the Widow Duel. That's insane.
I mean, to be able to win that series as well, the Dynasty had to pull off some of the craziest clutches that we have seen. But we'll go ahead and take a look at their opponents now. There's only one question ever when it comes down to the Chengdu Hunters and who they're going to be running, and that's whether or not we see Daisy starting here. But it will be Gaga bringing things forward here in the tank position.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing Daisy until we head towards more like a map 3 situation. Kind of depends on what that is. It's going to be Dorado,
push,
so
perhaps.
maybe. But yeah, I think Dorado's also still a pretty really good Winston map, right? Yeah, you're right. Could be a push kind of deal. But certainly for Nepal, which is map number 1, we're going to see the very standard Hunters Gaga here. So for one of the few times in any sort of matchup here, either in NA or in the East, it's actually going to be Winston versus Winston, because despite Marvel having some off-tank in his pool, it's mainly the Sigma, right? And we're unlikely to see that unless it's Sanctum. I think Sanctum has some capability for the Sigma to come through, so keep an eye out for that one. Maybe Marvel bring it in. I have actually seen Sigma on Shrine as well, but I think Sanctum is the main place you might expect a Sigma. That's if Marvel even goes towards it. Despite Valiant having a positive 2-1 record versus Hunters so far this year, I still got to say, man, I think Hunters have been the better looking team in this meta so far. Hunters, generally speaking, have just had a very strong look. They have a very comfortable look. Everyone's playing comfortable heroes. They took a map off Seoul. Seoul's only loss this entire stage has been to the Chengdu Hunters in terms of maps. That's it.
Yeah, it's, well, I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make of this one, Avril, going into this series, because the Valiant just have looked so good. Chengdu.
Well, both teams have high capability. Both teams have great potential currently, which is crazy.
And not just in this meta, we should say, because the Valiant have had some pretty intense series throughout the past as well. So, even when they weren't being able to pick up wins, they have played some pretty damn close series throughout this entire season. But now, right now, it looks to really suit them. I think we're just waiting on Lengza to come back so that we can get things underway. And then from there, we'll be able to jump in. I think that they're laughing right now because Marvel said that the team was ready, and then they had to let him know, actually, no, we're not, because we don't have a support.
And just remember as well, Molly used to be on the Chengdu Hunters some time ago. Lengza has been on... Lengza actually also was on Hunters, I think back in 2019, something like that. He was most recently on Team Chaser, which is the Academy team, which no longer is there. We also lost Uprising Academy recently, which is a bit of an RIP, and it's kind of unlucky. Hope they come back one day. But this will be an interesting one for sure. I think this starting lineup for the Valiant has been looking damn good, and I at this point don't know if they'll consider really bringing Sash in at all, because I think this particular matchup, both teams could kind of gentleman's agreement handshake just to play the main tanks the entire way through. I think if we do end up looking at more Sigma kind of stuff, you might have to bring in Daisy, because Marvel can always flex on that, whereas for Gaga that might be a struggle. But in sort of opposite ends of that, Gaga has been shown to flex on the Zarya. I don't know if we've seen Marvel on that just yet, so those are the sort of the two key facets I'm looking at in terms of tank choices. Let's head into Sanctum. What does Marvel play? Probably not Hog.
When's Marvel playing? Or what's Marvel playing? Yeah.
When?
Wait for
now.
him to swap
He's
this one
now.
over. All right. So far, maybe just a
we've seen like
little handshake on the Winston.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we have seen as we look into a pause, we have seen sort of bunker-esque designs as well, where just to speak on the whole Sigma thing again, because Leave's on Torb, and I don't expect him to roll out on the Torb, although it's not impossible. What I've seen is Torb with Sigma, right, is kind of like a very hyper defensive look on a Sanctum.
Sure.
You sort of hold the opposite high ground of the point, right? You capture the point, you don't defend the point, you hold the opposite high ground of the point, and you sort of just shoot down through the window from that sort of balcony, and that's sort of your gameplay. You pop down the Torb turret, very hard to dive. Because it's quite narrow, you drop down the Molten Core as well, and there's nowhere to sort of navigate through it. You just kind of defend with it. So that's a potential look. I don't know if that will work well with a Winston on board. Typically, you do want to play that with more of a defensive tank, even a Diva. But for Chengdu Hunters, I don't know that Leave is actually going to come out on this. I don't think that's a very Leave type hero. That's a Jinmu hero, if anything. But you kind of want to put Leave onto something that has a bit more carry potential. So probably a Tracer here or a Sojin here. Sojin Sombra has been a look for them. Sojin Tracer with Jimmy on the Tracer has been a look for them.
What if Leave is actually just the best Torbjorn player in the world and we don't know it because it's never been meta enough for him to actually play it?
Who has been the best Torbjorn player in the world? Just historically.
Ooh, we're deep diving here. Mangachu, Surefour.
Kind of.
I think Surefour's played it.
Who else has played it?
I feel like Surefour's played it. Maybe I'm
actually
making that up in my brain.
Prophet had a bit of Torb, didn't he? He probably had a bit of a Torb run at one stage, if I'm not mistaken.
Perhaps.
I don't know how to be the best. How do you be the best? Actually, I think Nero last year had a lot of Torb. Actually, Nero played a lot of Torb last year. I would have said that to me. No cap. I think based on recency, given that last year was the only meta that we seriously ran Torb, actually might be Nero for me. Legitimately, just based on who most recently succeeded on that with any amount of quality.
So I'm just thinking, did Surefour actually play Torbjorn, or am I just absolutely losing my brain? I can't remember, honestly. I might be I might be mixing him up with Mangachu because I spent so much time just hanging out in a vast Discord with both of those guys, so they've kind of blended into one person in my brain here as I look back on the several years ago. So I don't know. I'd imagine that Lane Roberts probably does have a good Torbjorn in the end of it all, but maybe I'm misremembering as far as his performances in the Overwatch League. But there's been a couple. But Torb is one of those things that's always just been on the outside of the edge. It's never fully been in the meta. In a super dominant way, not since the old pirate ships, I guess. So it's been a very long time since we had Torb in modern Overwatch.
No, we had Torb last year in brawl comps and stuff, anti-dive brawl comps. It's,
wasn't it every now and then though? I felt like it wasn't as prevalent.
I specifically remember towards playoffs, Countdown Cup playoffs era. Shock last year, we're playing a lot of Torb with Nero leading the charge in that Torb. So.
Perhaps. Well,
on another pause.
We said 15 maps wasn't enough. Potentially 15 maps tonight. Let's throw some pauses in there as well. Just to really elongate
What other trivia we got? What trivia we got on board?
I don't know. Where do we go from here?
Who is the player that has been most robbed of end of season awards? This is a very contentious one. I'll start. Last year, Pelican did not receive Role Star last year, despite being the rookie.
Okay.
That's a big one for me last year. That one didn't sit right.
I mean, I think the biggest one has to be Prophet, right? He's never been a Role Star.
Well, he's been. Has he really not been a Role Star? That's no. You're right.
Sure
I think
he
he's
has.
never. Wow, that's right.
Sure
I think Prophet has never been a Role Star. He did get Grand Finals MVP though, so maybe that's why my memory is like, well, we got that.
Maybe that counterbalances it a bit, but
I don't think he got one.
I mean, he got that before we had Role Stars.
I thought Pelican was ridiculous last year. I was like, dude, Pelican was so good last year, and he didn't get that. It was
yeah. I mean, he was crazy. But I think for me, it would have to be Prophet, because even just in the last couple seasons, him not getting a Role Star would be that's enough to kind of push it over the edge for me and be like, this guy deserves all of the accolades. I think he's always been so good.
You know what? Prophet can get a main support Role Star this year. You know what? Why not? That's the other thing. People looking. I already put this on Twitter, but I'll just repeat it here on broadcast too. People saying like, "Well, where are the main supports on the MVP nominations?" Like, Prophet's right there, guys. Open your eyes.
Yeah.
He's sitting right there. That's your main support MVP right there.
We said main support send us an emissary, and they sent Prophet. So
they did.
There you go.
He
is. The main supports are well represented there with Prophet in his brief stint of playing Brigitte during the Jotes meta, which I still wish that we had come up with a better name for the Jotes meta. It's in the past now, so it doesn't really matter, and I don't see it resurfacing.
Everything is good.
We can't just. Here's another PSA.
Are you enjoying Are you enjoying Sombra Goats right now in this current meta?
It's not. That's not what it is. It's not what it is. It's not what it is.
Goats with Diva.
There's a name. There's a name that needs to be invented for the current meta, but we cannot stop. We have to stop leaning on the Goats crutch. Everybody. This is for the community. This isn't just to Avril. This is for everybody watching. We can't keep calling everything goats, goddammit. We have to move on. It's been in the past. It's time to invent some new terms rather than simply leaning on the things that we have known for years and years. Be creative. Let your imaginations run wild. Stop bringing up goats. Stop replacing letters in the goat's name. Just invent something else. I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that we have a different name for every meta that's coming out. I haven't done it yet. I haven't had the time, but I'm going to be working on it, and I hope that you all join me in this endeavor, because we need to leave goats behind where it's supposed to be. I got a funny one.
Speaking of the goat's name, it's so like wired to people's brains now that it actually has escaped from Overwatch. So this happened just yesterday, actually, or earlier today, depending on your time zone. You said Lane Roberts, Shaw 4, Dogman, Ludi, Mendo, Space, and some other guys from different games competed in a first-person shooter video game tournament yesterday, the name of which I'm not going to say. I don't know if I can say, but just you'll figure it out. Go to Space on Twitter. I don't know. He's won a trip to Japan. The point is, they played a video game tournament yesterday, and in the post-match interview from Space's team when they won, they talked about the fact that, oh yeah, there was some stuff that we could have played here, and we could have played Goats here. I'm like, excuse me, did you just say Goats? Goats has now infected other titles. It has now infected other games.
This is what I'm talking about.
So Goats has actually escaped Overwatch. The pen has been left open at night, and the goat has escaped the pen, and now has invaded other games. Even when you leave Overwatch, you cannot escape goats. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm talking about. It needs to stop. Goats is spreading like a virus, and we need to pull the plug. The vaccine. You guys are the vaccine. Your imaginations are the vaccine to shut this down and stop it from spreading to other games, because we can't just go on and confuse a bunch of other communities because of what we have invented here years ago now in 2019. We need to put an end to it. So I'm asking you all to help me. It's time to stop. Let's put an end to it all. Let's put an end to this pause, because we're going to go into the game. What a segue that was. Anyway, back into the action, which didn't really even get started. It is not going to be the Torbjorn, of course. Leave is on the Tracer, and we will just have perfectly mirrored compositions across the board.
Also, I can't believe it's taken this long for the Achilleos long pause curse to come in. So, we had to get one in.
What can I say?
Marvel hacked out.
It's inevitable. Nisha going to be taken down. Marvel able to find that opening kill here. Valiant get the lockdown on the point as well. Now go chasing forward. Chengdu down to a sliver. Not going to be able to do too much here. And you can see the Chengdu Hunters just going to go for a full disengage. Wait for Nisha to rejoin them. And now try to assault the point once more.
Okay, well, looking towards Becky on and Lee very early. Potential pulse bombs coming through for this fight. Pressure onto Easy Hunt, staying strong for now. Hunter's trying to take control at this point again, and fights happening a little all over the place right now. We are now consolidating on the point again. Big ante.
Oh, nice ante. And Jinmu gets himself out of their leave as well. Makes his exit, so no kills to be found off the back of it, but it does stave them off. Buys some more space here. Valiant keep things contested. Jinmu now going to be taken out. Leave with the pulse bomb, does manage to find Lengza, however. A decent opener, but Molly, Nano Boost about to be online. Use that in a pinch if somebody goes low. See Becky making his exit, gets a little bit of healing. Gaga's still trying to play forward now, receives the Nano there from Monk. Marvel getting one as well. Oh, he almost gets bodied. He almost goes straight down into the pit. The sleep guard as well nearly sends him down to his death, but he does manage to persevere. And Becky with the pulse bomb of his own will find Nisha. It's going to be another Brig dying to a Tracer. Gaga hacked, makes his exit. The flip back in their favor. The Valiant once more gain control of the point. Only 7% for the Chengdu Hunters.
And despite Marvel kind of whipping his jump there, Valiant still get the kill and the dive. It's actually Gaga that doesn't get too much done. Easy Khan now pulling the trigger onto the EMP. Becky dead though, EMP not successful.
Yeah, it's used the dive a little bit too late there from Marvel. Doesn't get to use the primal as well because the EMP comes out from Jinmu. They get the shutdown. Gaga taking a nap, anti on the 2, but it doesn't matter too much here. Point flip starting to come through. And that's going to be the Chengdu Hunters once more gaining control of this point.
This round entirely so far, it's been just kind of tempo plays on both sides. We haven't really seen too much, I haven't seen too much combination of the ultimates. It's just been kind of throwing the ultimates when possible, especially with the pulse bombs, with the EMPs thrown in there as well. Nisha has to try and survive this. Lengza hasn't rallied yet.
Oh, Marvel. So very low. Hacked out as well. Molly going to be taking down the pulse bomb, finds the kill. Rally still rolling from Nisha. Lengza just holding on to it, looking to play the more patient battle, it would seem. Wait for the reset, come back in, and then try to retake the point. Chengdu still going to be holding firmly for now, but they're just halfway to tying it up.
Becky caught by the hack and taken down by Jinmu. Valiant will now have to reset again. I was going to say they held on towards their rally in that previous fight. Nisha pulled. Lengza did not pop the rally despite Marvel going in off the Primal Rage. Hacked out for a little bit here, but Valiant, yeah, they'll need to push off both Nano and Rally for the next fight. Nano onto Marvel. They can dive towards the point. Gaga can potentially lock them back in with the Primal, though.
Okay, Easy Han waiting. Gets that Destroyer on the Translocator. Now, Rally
Becky.
Lengza. Yeah, Becky going to be the recipient. He's looking, gets quite a bit of damage down on the Nisha. Won't be able to find the kill, however. Still holds on to the pulse bomb. Leave. Pressuring Marvel from the back, takes him low, makes his exit. Dash in, there's the stick, hits the floor, however. I think the shield actually absorbed that one. Becky now stuck in the corner, trying to escape, goes down to about 13 HP, and somehow manages to make it back to safety here.
No cap.
Within Marvel's bubble. Cap still not there yet. They're so very close to it, but the Chengdu Hunters are looking to close this one out right here, right now. Leave the Nano, about to expire. Now, doesn't have it. Jinmu down to a sliver of HP, gets himself top back up. The flip is there. Valiant once more in control. Crucially, they do stop the Chengdu Hunters from getting the 98. EMP.
Big EMP.
Trigger gets pulled, finds 2. Marvel, dead. Lynx as well, hacked out. Some minor contest does come through, but Becky gets cleaned up. The flip is going to be there. Overtime does get forced out. Easy Han here on the point. Just looking to buy a little bit of extra time here for the rest of the team to rejoin. Makes his exit. Somebody's got to get there soon. Dashes back in with the Translocator, but now he has no exit strategy, and Gaga takes advantage of that. Strikes him down. Marvel comes back on the Doomfist, tags in, goes low, goes down.
Wow.
Jinmu finds the elimination. Lengza as well, just stringing forward. Certainly does not stand a chance here in this fight. The cleanup comes in, the OT will plummet, and it's a damn close one, but it's the Chengdu Hunters walking away with a round victory.
And I don't think there's ever been more clear evidence of why Doom has not played more in this particular meta. I mean, just look how fast Marvel was burned out of that fight. Jinmu with the incredible hack into the kill, but before that even occurred, I mean, let's talk about the EMP dropping on top of Marvel, and I think the backline of supports as well for the Valiant. Jinmu deletes the shield that Marvel popped down, does a ton of damage to his HP bar. Chengdu Hunters able to collapse on top of those members and take control of the point, and for the Valiant, didn't even see it coming. Marvel thought he was safe. Not going to be the case. And even prior to that as well, I mean, Easy Han had EMP exchange with Jinmu, and Easy Han's EMP did not, unfortunately, get enough value for Valiant to win a fight. On the opposite end, Jinmu and the Hunters absolutely got what they wanted. Very close affair on opening Sanctum will now lead us to a 1-0 as we enter Shrine. Double Winstons again. So any dream and any hope of seeing Marvel Sigma is going to have to wait until future maps. This was probably the only other round that you might have thought about it. There's Chengdu Hunters running again, and the Valiant, exact same comps.
Yep, smeared across the board once more. Leaf seeking a target, spots Molly up onto the high ground. It's a little bit of damage down here onto Eichenwalde, forces the translocate out, and Leaf himself getting tagged up and somehow doesn't feel the need to pop that recall. Stays in the fight, but Nisha, he cannot. Becky finds that elimination, but it's going to be an exchange as the Briggs go down on either side. Becky and Leaf getting one apiece, now looking to get a piece of each other. So once more, the Valiant will be able to get the initial lockdown of the point.
And that's the thing, right, because both of the Brigaders are down, but despite that, Chengdu still took more damage, their HP bars were lower, Jimmy had to translocate out, and Valiant take control of the point. Becky, by the way, has done a decent amount of damage. He has the pulse bomb. Leaf still on 73. Chengdu are behind in ults.
Just waiting for his moment. Spots Leaf on the flank, dashes in, he's trying to get a target. Hail Mary toss, doesn't get the stick. Monk, however, still maybe could get pressured out here. Becky eventually does find the headshots to be able to take him down. Jinmu, rather, joining him in the grave. It's going to be the Chengdu Hunters following the retreat. Still pushing in. Leaf going to be taking down some nice extra staggers found here. Now the Valiant will go ahead back away.
Yeah, just snowballing there from LA Valiant, just collecting as many kills as they can as Hunters try and back away. While Leaf finally has pulse bomb, Becky's on 49, 50 and counting up as he's continually farming fort. Eichenwalde 20% ahead of Jinmu as well because he killed Jinmu. There was a separate 1v1 or skirmish happening on the other side of the map. So now we wait for the EMP plate, looking to see where Eichenwalde will strike from. I think he's a little bit far away from where Hunter's actually coming through. Hunter's coming through upper, Eichenwalde below. So he's going to have to come through from below and try and strike. He's slow. Jimmy pull trigger first.
Oh, that's the support's gone. Nice from Leaf. Gets a pulse in. Molly gone. The flip should be inevitable here from this point. Marvel's certainly not going to be... No, okay, he actually does commit it. And now there's going to be another pause. Okay.
Nice.
It's just one of those.
What I can say on that is, I mean, I think, you know, we have to. I want to address the positioning of that last fight from the LA Valiant POV, where Eichenwalde had the first EMP available, but where was the setup for that? It felt that it was kind of missing from the Valiant POV. They actually allowed Chengdu to initiate on top of them first, and we saw the Jinmu EMP actually drop down on top of the LA Valiant, and that is actually what won the fight for the Chengdu Hunters. Leave coming in for the play as well. LA Valiant had the ability to pull trigger early. I think their scouting was not up to par. They didn't scout the Chengdu positioning as they came through. I mean, you have to understand what sort of rotation Chengdu are going to make. Are they going from upper side, lower, what, coming through main? Eichenwalde was just not in position to play for an EMP at all. That kind of hurt the Valiant a lot.
Okay. Leaf uses the recall, dodges the hack, finds Marvel, who just gets absolutely obliterated asleep on the floor. As we go right back into it. Chengdu Hunters now in control of the point. 82% set up here from the Valiant. One flip, and they're likely taking us to Village.
A lot of ults on board for Valiant, though, as they didn't have much to say in that previous fight, but now they can still come back in, make a strong reply out of it. See, now this is where Jinmu is actually following the Valiant from behind. They just got to link up for a dive. Langs the court.
Yep, and Langs is dead. Moments before he would have the rally at the ready. Gaga going to be taking a nap here onto the high ground, but there's no threat for him whatsoever, and even if there was, he gets woken up. He does have a primal to bail him out. In the meantime, Monk just nailing some sleep darts. That leads to some easy kills.
Yep. That's what you got to do. I mean, what we saw from Jinmu is what I expect out of Eichenwalde in terms of trailing the opposition carefully, looking at where the rotation is going to be, a perfect scouting from Chengdu, and they felt strongly enough that Jinmu and Gaga actually linked up to dive together to collect Linksa straight away, and now Leave has already got some eyes on where that push from the Valiant is coming from, and just primal straight away into a sleep.
Gaga shut down. Can they get the kill? Everybody's grouped up at all. He just juggles everybody straight into the pulse bomb. Langs and Molly both struck down in one fell swoop. Nicely stuck from Leave, and well turned around by Gaga. And that might just be the nail in the coffin for this map.
Well, it's not quite done yet because there's still 25% to go, which is ample time for Valiant to still get a contest in. So the good news is that, okay, cool, Chengdu do win their fight, but they actually leave themselves quite open, waiting for Nano and EMP. This EMP cannon will decide if Jinmu locks this one down, and Chengdu have the map.
Leaf makes his way out. EMP at the ready. Support ults going to need to be invested here. First one's going to be the Nano. Goes out of the Marvel. He goes chasing. He's looking for Nisha. Can't find it. EMP goes through. I don't think it hit anybody. I guess I didn't quite spot it.
Becky
okay, gets one. So Becky does go down. Leaf Nanoed once more. Monk going to be traded. Marvel able to find that elimination as Leaf tries to get on top of Langsup. Is the rest of the team backing him up? But Langsup manages to make it back into the back lines here of the Valiant. Stays safe for now.
Valiant flex
being bought. That's the supports now gone. The Valiant holding on for dear life. 95% ticking up. The touch going to have to come through here in a moment. Chengdu Hunters, who's it going to be?
Gaga blocked. Just made it off, but he dies
way in there. Yeah, gives his life, and now it's all down to the clutch. The touch comes in once more off screen. Pulse bump down onto the shield, comes back up. Nisha blocks it, keeps himself safe. Again,
Leave.
Stick, so damn close. Leave the pulse bump, finds Langsup. Looking to drag this one back over the finish line. The touch comes in, but now he's going to get EMP'd. He runs straight into it. Becky is waiting, gets the headshots across. Jinmu's still going to be alive. Doomfist return here from Gaga. Going to be down to about half HP. The support's under fire on the side of the Chengdu Hunters, but they manage to find stability, but that leaves Gaga out to dry. He was all on his lonesome, and he does crumble under the pressure. The OT now plummets. They clear the point just long enough. The Valiant will be able to take Shrine for themselves, so Village now to settle the score.
Almost the complete opposite of what we saw on Sanctum as well, right? This time it's the Chengdu Hunters behind, and Gaga has to come back onto a Doomfist. Barely does anything with it, and it's unfortunate for Gaga because he was the first to touch, but because he might have been booped on his jump, or he might have whiffed the jump. In either case, the initial jump does not land on the point itself. Let's take a look at that double pulse bomb again. Stick into Gaga, pushing them all into the corner. That's as perfect as you have in terms of an alley-oop into the slam dunk of the pulse bomb itself. But as I also mentioned there, Ilios, because Chengdu did not have percentage points on the actual cap itself, not enough. Despite that play, Valiant had enough time to regroup, go for one more push, and that's when the Valiant still had time to build ultimates. Primal into Eichenwalde's EMP cleaned it up for them. Jinmu's own EMP did not do enough.
No, it did not. Anti out of the two. Langsa picked off, he finds the kill, but Gaga's going to be traded out. Molly, however, falling. It's not a good boon here for the side of the Valiant, but the kills continue to be found. Leaf and Jinmu both fighting back, finding at least a kill apiece. Eichenwalde makes his way out with about 5 health remaining. Chengdu Hunters will have first lockdown of the point.
And despite Gaga's sacrifice there, what he is able to do is open up space for the rest of the Chengdu Hunters to go in and trade backlines. So if we consider Marvel diving into Chengdu, Gaga diving into Valiant, Gaga dies, but leaving Jinmu clean up the supports of the Valiant, allowing them to snowball that fight with. Great opening fire name from Monk there, who, by the way, is almost double of Molly's nano boost. In fact, over double. That will be important for future fight considerations.
Jinmu just dipping out. Still has the lead for now in the EMP race. Leave as well towards that pulse bomb. Gaga slept on the point. Can't find a punish though. So he'll just go ahead and wake up. Jinmu going to be taken down, but at the cost of Molly, so now the healing going to be cut down significantly for the Valiant. It's Marvel just trying to farm up with some of these right clicks, but eventually just has to retreat. Grabs the mega pack, and the Valiant will be staved off.
Yeah, 35 and still counting here for the Hunters. Gaga hacked out. This fight is not over. Eichenwalde gets Gaga down. That's a reasonable trade. Lynx is now respawning. EMP going to be online for Eichenwalde just slightly earlier. Presence on point found by Valiant. Leave trying to hold. Has pulse bomb. Needs to stick.
Maybe he doesn't need to commit it here because now Eichenwalde is going to be taken down. It's basically been one very extended skirmish that's been happening since the map began, but Chengdu Hunters continue to win out.
Valiant don't reset though. They're still in this fight. I mean, you look at Marvel still around the peripheral of this point itself, which is why, you know, you look at Leave. Pulse into Marvel's going to have to force a primal pulse into anybody in this stage. Still waiting for EMPs. Eichenwalde tracking the supports. He sees Nisha. Pull the trigger.
The dive comes in. They're looking for him, but it's going to be the nano up from Monk to keep Nisha alive. Swinging away with the flail, and the damage is just not there.
Marvel
you can see his HP bar not moving at all. Marvel so very low. Primal still held, however. Keeps that one in his back pocket. The EMP goes through, finds Marvel, finds Langsa. If they come low, but Marvel still manages to get the pop. Primal Rage now in the fight. Valiant had gotten the flip prior. So now ticking up at 12%. Pack goes in. Jinmu has to dip out. Rally rolling from Nisha, trying to keep everybody alive. Gaga going to be slept. He's antied, and he cannot get back up to pop the Primal himself. Ends up getting taken out of the fight. The Valiant, they can now hold the point for themselves.
My goodness, Marvel playing on the edge. He actually went down to 1 HP and did not pop the Primal. Very much trusting that his team was going to keep him up, that he was going to break LOS from the Chengdu Hunters and then be able to save the Primal for another day. And that other day was the Jinmu EMP. Marvel survives it. Primal comes on through. Cannot say the same for Gaga. Slept down, killed before the Primal was a factor. And that way, Valiant, I mean, they held on, like you called it, very early on. It was an extended skirmish. Hunters, they were only sort of slightly winning the fight, but never resetting the Valiant. So Valiant had the ability to enter that fight again at any point they want to, and they currently have 3 ultimates, 1 burned on Marvel.
Marvel just running forward, just keeping them locked back in position. shoves him away from the point. The Valiant getting ever closer to being able to take the lead here on Village. Gaga diving in, tries to get onto the high ground, has the primal, gets himself back up there, knocks Langza away, and Becky was taken down off screen by Nisha. Decent opening kill. Chengdu Hunters start stepping in onto the point. Langza, oh, he pops a rally and it gets canceled instantly. Gaga just cleaves him down. Marvel goes diving forward, but instantly is greeted with a hack, and the bubble's not going to be enough to protect him. Bionade out onto both supports here on the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Monk going to be the one that falls, however, as Gaga slurps up 3 quick kills.
Yeah. And despite Monk going down, Molly and Easy Hunt falling will give Monk plenty of time to come back. Nano coming online as well. Hunters are about to be in a great position to finish off this map. EMPs could be a factor, but if Chengdu just close it out with the Nano and also potentially that lead pulse bomb that has been so good so far, Valiant will have little to respond with. But if this goes the distance, Marvel and Easy Hunt ulting could make the difference for Valiant.
Ticking up. The overtime force is there. Marvel hacked again. 10% away from the Primal Rage. Pulse Bomb held by Leaf. Monk nearly with a Nano now has it. Nisha as well. The rally almost there. Chengdu, they've had so many tools to come online to work with, but there's the EMP first from Easy Han. Becky is the first one that dies. Gaga, however, still going to get eliminated. Marvel finds that kill. Slept right now in the Primal. Rally rolling from Nisha, trying to keep the rest of the squad alive, trying to win out the fight and close it right here because they know that it's last fight territory for both squads. Marvel continuing to go low. Leaf manages to hound him down. They find that kill and they clear off the point. They clear off the point just long enough. The Valiant putting up a valiant effort, but unfortunately cannot take Nepal for themselves. It's the Chengdu Hunters holding their heads high at the end of this all, but it was damn close if nothing else. Chengdu barely scraping by with the win. Now start things up 1-0 in the series.
And that's just the late EMP coming through from Jinmu, right? I think for the LA Valiant, you had the Marvel Primal, you had the Easy Hunt EMP, but it did not do enough. With Becky and Marvel both down, it's between the supports and Easy Hunt to juggle the point to try and buy enough time for at least Becky to come on in, but they just couldn't do it successfully. The overtime wick burned so fast in those final moments. And for the Chengdu Hunters, Jinmu with the last laugh there, closing the book on Nepal for 1-0.
Well, well, well. Chengdu Hunters able to get that win here in the end, but hard-fought battle from the side of the Valiant, which is what we have come to expect from them. And the series, if we learned anything from the previous one, is certainly not over yet. We'll see what happens, though, as we get ready to go over to Eichenwalde for our hybrid map, see if it's going to be the Chengdu Hunters looking at a 2-0 or the Valiant tying things up at 1-1. So don't go anywhere, guys. The action's going to continue in just a few. And we are back. A 1-0 lead right now for the Chengdu Hunters after a very hard-fought 3 rounds of Nepal. But they get it in the end with the closeout on Village. Now we get ready to go over to Eichenwalde to see if this is going to be tied up, or if the Chengdu Hunters maybe can speed up this ever-long evening.
Playing close so far. I mean, neck and neck gameplay. We had comebacks from 99%, you know, full 3-rounder on there. Both teams have been fairly even so far. You know, it's been hard for me to discern a clear leader. I understand that obviously Chengdu have won this map, so you'd have to say by default Chengdu definitely is the leader so far. But you know, Valiant, if we are going to go into that narrative, Valiant are not that far behind from what I can gather.
Yeah, I mean, I just for the Valiant's sake, I hope that this isn't another, you know, Seoul Dynasty situation where it's like it's so damn close, it's such a close series, and then unfortunately they can't pick up any wins. I don't think it's going to be the case though, because it's the Chengdu Hunters after all, and sometimes they drop series to teams that they in theory should not. But given the way that the Valiant have been playing as of late, they're definitely going to have to work for this one if they want it to be a 3-0.
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, the difference between this series and the Seoul series was that I think versus Seoul, despite it being close, and, you know, this is the caveat of saying it was a very close game, and it was, is that you still felt like Seoul had the lead. They were never really out of the lead. They were never really in a position to lose that series, from my perspective at least. Whereas here, I think it's been close enough that it's not entirely clear that, you know, I think Chengdu's necessarily just going to sweep 3-0, right? It's not as clean. It's not as, you know, in control from the winning side that I feel the same way about the series currently after one map as I do about the Seoul series, where again Valiant took Seoul very close, but Seoul never really let the series out of their grip, so to speak.
Well, we'll see what happens, and whether or not the Valiant will be able to tie this one up. Because if there's nothing else that the Valiant love, it is 5-map series. So we're kind of anticipating it, just given the matchups here this evening and how the way that, you know, all the teams have been playing fairly tight-knit together. You know, I guess basically aside from the Dynasty, who are very clearly far and away above everybody else at the moment. Yeah, this is probably going to end up being a 5-mapper. So why the hell not? We'll just get ready to jump into our second map in a moment and get things underway and see how they do fare. So Chengdu better have their wits about them, because if they let the guard down for, you know, even a sliver of a second, the Valiant will be able to get some punches in.
I've got to say as well, the Tracer battle has been very interesting to me. They are both the damage leaders for their respective teams, and this is some very classic Leave Tracer coming through as well. 14 final blows on that map. Next highest was Gaga on 11, actually. And Leave did 31% of team damage with 13,108 overall across that 3-rounders on Nepal. Sasha coming in for Marvel now, though, as we head into map number 2. And let's consider what this means. So we're going to be playing Eichenwalde, very likely to be Zarya. I don't suspect that Sasha will be playing much else. I think actually B-Point Diva has some good value from, again, the verticality. From a very rare perspective, we could be seeing Orisa one more time, especially on A. I don't think she's got good value elsewhere, but on A I have seen some gameplay. Although, I got to be careful not to be horse-pilled about that, because it is still teams, like it's mostly like the Vancouver, Paris type of teams that are running the Orisa kind of everywhere. I've seen Punk play Junker Queen here as well. So, you know, teams have been trying all sorts of different stuff on this particular map, on the A point especially. I would say the safest play is still Sasha on the Zarya, and I think he probably feels the same way.
Well, Jinmu flashing the far right here for just a brief moment, goes off the side of the map. Now goes back over to that Sombra. So a bit more standard from him. Valiant, looks like Becky is looking to match him. Says, I want to be just like Jinmu. Well, he stopped himself from dying in the spawn room. I guess his teammate said, actually, we don't have that much time, so. I want to be just like Jinmu when I grow up.
Should be the easy hunt snipe out of spawn, though. Be surprised if Valiant don't at least do just a Widowmaker snipe out of spawn.
Looks like they're not.
It's quite typical. Okay, they're not. No, Becky's going.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Up over the top.
Usually you'd have the Mercy also pocket. Alright, Jinmu nearly died for that, actually. That would have been, if Jinmu died for that, would have been disastrous. In fact, had Jinmu not collected the health pack fast enough, Sasha might have caught him also.
Yeah, that was
so really living and dying by that translocator, Jinmu.
Pretty big limit testing here. Now he's frontlining against Becky, and with the help of Nisha and the Shield Bash, they will be able to take him down. Nisha and the Shield Bash, also the name of my ska band. Check us out on Spotify. As the Sleep Dart will connect. Langza managing to stay alive here for a brief little moment. Jinmu again will make his exit.
And Gaga, low HP. Both those members, critical health, anti-out.
Just hold a W. And Gaga's dead.
See, this is it. That's the problem. You've flown too close to the sun.
Oh, boy.
And Assassins punish both plays. Now this is a 5v3 advantage, and Valiant are going to march on top of A. Chengdu can do very little to stop that. One tick's already been capped out. Chengdu can't even retake this until Gaga comes back.
No, they cannot. Now I don't think
they
they
can't
retake
retake it all now.
Yeah, Monk is dead. And, well, flew too close to the spawn room. Did the Chengdu Hunters.
You can't do that.
The Chengdu thing.
You can't do that. You have to respect the respawners, because if a single player goes down there, you're going to be in a player deficit. Valiant easily punishes.
Well.
Jimmu EMP now. At least they got that going for them. So for to Jimmu's credit, despite losing... Let me be clear about this. It is not worth losing a whole point to build an EMP, but Jimmu has now built an EMP, spotted both supports, waiting for Leave and Gaga for the dive.
Whips on one, but they get the other, but Monk gets straight at the same time off screen. Becky netted up, gets himself onto the high ground, and Becky actually finds both the support. So the EMP that he built up after losing point A is effectively worthless, and now the cart can move forward. Valiant very much looking great on this attack so far.
Yeah, and they're going to be pushing through. Now Easy Hunt will have the next EMP up. Chengdu committed so hard for the backlight. You saw all three there into the dive, which I think is a pretty typical dive, don't get me wrong. That is supposed to be how you dive with double DPS plus tank. However, it does leave Monk and Nisha out to dry. Becky spots the opening. Molly nanos. Becky rolls up, kills both supports single-handedly. And Becky just demolishes the backline of Chengdu Hunters, wins them a fight for the Valiant.
All right.
And now he slept.
I would say that we're in strange territory, but given that we're casting the Chengdu Hunters right now, nothing strange at all. EMP from Easy Han comes out, manages to find two. Gaga's going to try to get out of there, but Molly snipes him moments before he crests over the top of the rampart, so he ends up dying. Becky will go ahead and beam down Nisha, finishing him off after losing out on his duplicate there, but the cart just rolls in. It's about to be a massive time bank, 5 minutes plus as they get ready to breach the castle doors, and this is a complete and utter catastrophe for the Chengdu Hunters. The spaghetti has not been dropped on the floor, it has been spiked into the ground.
Oh, and a lot of that is kind of Becky throwing in the face of the Hunters there as well. He's a guy in the restaurant kind of putting his foot out a little bit too far, tripping over the waiters. Off the Echo play especially, he has been hacked out here. This could be in trouble for now. The Valiant still have a rally to play through. This is where Chengdu got to put their foot down. EMP's up again. They have Leaves Pulse Bomb. They have a rally. They can play through a bunch of ultimates. This corner they have to hold.
Rolling. Okay, EMP finds Sport. Sasha, the only one not getting clipped by that. Leaving the Pulse Bomb. Will get Lengsa. So maybe a moment of stability about to be found here. Sleep Dart also goes wide, so Leave is able to go ahead and scoop up a second kill. Easy Hunt just dips out, is spotted. Seems like Chengdu Hunt just finally finds some semblance of stability and control of the cart that they haven't seen since the cart was inactive.
3-piece from Leave there. Beautiful to see. Chengdu spending 2 ults to get control. And this is where they kind of have to find that control. I think Gaga's ability to dive on C point is not going to be very comfortable. Sashin's on a much more comfortable hero for this particular point. Chengdu Hunters, though, we've seen them play C points quite well in the past. They're going to need to defend against this Easy Hunt EMP coming through as well. Becky staying on the Echo for now. I think he should probably go towards the Genji after this, but we'll see what happens when he dies.
Well, the rally's going to get canceled. Nisha taken down by the sticky bombs. Becky will find that. Hunts from Monk. A couple more shots would do it, but Sashin will find him in the end. Now Gaga going to be eliminated as well. Still with 3.5 minutes remaining, mind you. The card is going to get ready around the final corner. As Becky is just painting the kill feed white.
Chengdu still don't really have any resources. Monk is 94. It's not enough. Becky easy on copy heroes here into the EMP, and should be the cap, right? I mean, we're looking at a decent time back. Touch has been enabled.
2.76 meters left to go. Leaf going to be EMP. Doesn't get to build up that pulse bomb here in this fight. Needs to respawn quickly.
Monk locked out.
Try to turn the tides of this fight. Gaga still playing forward, hacked, but gets the primal off ahead of time. Slept now. Sashin melted. Got antied out. Jinmu manages to beat him down. Becky's still playing forward now. Is going to lose out on that duplicate. He's to try to keep
Gaga's
himself alive. And yeah, Gaga somehow holds on by a thread. They keep him in the fight. The Valiant successfully do pull back around the corner. Just wait for the reset. Still have a very healthy time bank to work with.
And so much of that was actually Monk getting out of spawn. Like he runs up to Becky, gets to sleep on the duplicated Winston, runs past and starts healing the team. That was so important for the Chengdu Hunters to have that extra support available. And Jinmu, through all of that, builds up an EMP, can hold with that. Now, that was a very, very tight hold from the Chengdu Hunters on the precipice of defeat as well when Valiant come in for the cap. Becky stays on the Echo for now. Again, Doesn't have a lot of aerial space to play through for flying, but he trusts his Echo. Has a block potential versus Gaga. Now the rally from Linksters, they want to push in. Grav nearly up.
EMP, however, finds 3. Anti-nade layered in. Easy Han and Sasha both get clipped by that. Becky, the first one to fall. Actually playing to joining them there. Brothers in Arms both getting taken down. Easy Han tries to make his way out, but just cannot do so. Monk snipes him before he can take the translocate out, and even if he had, probably still would have died. Sashin trying to escape. Looks like he will be allowed to do so. The Valiant, the time is getting drained down.
Reaper.
Becky now swapping over onto the Reaper.
I like that a lot, actually. I think I completely forgot about the Reaper. I actually prefer that to the Genji now, think about it more, because the Reaper allows you to play that ground game very effectively with Sashin backing you up, and more importantly, shutting down Gaga. This is going to put a lot more pressure to Gaga than even the Echo was. So, very good choice coming through from Becky. Nano and Grav and EMP coming in. One big push left from the Valiant. If they fail this push, they won't have ultimates left.
The grab is out. Sasha not sure who he caught. Gaga, in the meantime, catches a sleep dart to the back line. Sasha as well. Going to be taking a nap, but Leaf now felled. Rally rolling from Nisha. Expires. EMP comes out, finds 2. Gaga the first to fall. Jinmu staying alive. Sliver of health left for him. Makes his way back into the spawn room, I do believe. Go ahead and get healed back up, and once more the Carp now just a couple meters away from pushing in. Valiant, they want this finish. They want it, especially with time left in the bank, but they've already been taken down below a minute. It's been a very strong hold here in the castle for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Gaga, hacked out still, gets the Primal online, goes diving into the back line. The Sleep Dart greets him once more. He's down at about half HP. You can see them all collecting in around him. They get the elimination. Becky now leading the charge with the Death Blossom online, pulls the trigger immediately, gets in. Great out. The bubble comes in, crucially from Sachin, to help him stay alive. They clear it out. With 26 seconds remaining, the Valiant will be able to get the finish.
I don't think Gaga made the right call there to go extremely deep. He actually broke LOS from his own team by going around that corner. He should have gone up to the corner and not around it. Push the Valiant back. Do not overcommit beyond your means. Absolutely can't afford to die there. Even if your Primal doesn't get you extreme value, doesn't get you kills, that is still much preferable to actually dying. Let's take a look at the replay here. Becky dives in, receives a nano, and actually with a bit of help from Easy Hunt, takes down double supports. That's while the Hunters were trying to do the same onto the Valiant supports, and only Molly fell. Now back to where we just sort of left off on that final defense and offense from the LA Valiant. Yeah, I mean, I think Gaga dying there was the final straw that broke the camel's back for the Chengdu defense. Because even if you don't get a lot done in the Primal, but you live, you at least reset the Valiant, force them to respect your ultimate, and you buy time for your team to set up good positioning and get respawners back for another final engagement. So Chengdu Hunters possibly let that defense slip through their fingers, but I think the Valiant sort of also came around to the correct ultimate timings for a final engagement.
Well now, Valiant get their shot at a strong defense. Chengdu Hunters, I mean, good on them to be able to get the hold in the end, but you have to question, you know, what could have been had they not overstepped over towards A, because they were looking completely and utterly dominant. Instead, they allowed them to get all the way to the very end of the map. So now Valiant going to be looking for a full hold of their own. Becky once more starting with that Echo.
Okay, so it's a long rotation and scouting report coming through from Jinmu. It's also Leave as well. You can see them linking up already, so they want to go for this dive, see where those supports are. Actually,
trying to get on the Monk there.
Xanthian
out again up Nisha as well. In danger, and Easy Han will be able to slurp the kills. He's playing off the back of this damage. Jinmu jumps away. In the meantime, however, tick and a half has been gained. Gaga just sat on the point and says, yeah, you guys can all die. I'll just gain advantages for us.
So that's probably the one error that Valiant made, as no one actually was able to commit onto the point to stop that tick from coming through. But otherwise, I respect that Valiant wanted to play aggressively there, right? We've seen this MO already when they were on this sort of A-point attack, rather B-point attack early on when Becky got the double kill to the backline of Hunters. They just meet aggression with more aggression, and it works out for them.
Molly now taken down. Big opening here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, who once more are ticking up on the point. The second getting ready to come through. Stop contesting it here for a little moment as they try to pile in, get on top of Sashin. EMP goes out, catches 2. Gaga in danger, ends up falling. Becky able to find both of those kills. Leave trying to get the punish. The HP bars right now are so low on the side of the Valiant, but they managed to clean it up. Leave just can't do enough to try to win out the fight.
He'll get away though, with his life at least. It's the small silver lining for the Chengdu Hunters, but otherwise, that took a long time for Gaga to go down. I think Becky was missing the focusing beam. He didn't have the focusing beam for a while, otherwise Gaga probably would have fallen. Now as we head down to just about 2 minutes left now, almost there. Chengdu Hunters starting to come online for some big ultimates. EMP saw a little bit far for Jinmu. Eichenwalde had already burned his earlier.
Hack on the lead, but he is going to be safe. Sashin trying to hold the front lines, needs to get this grab online. It's 13% away. Duplicate as well from Becky, about to be up. He can buy a hell of a lot of time with this one, depending on the target selection. Now has it at the ready. Pulse bomb goes out from Leap, not going to be able to find the stick, doesn't get a kill. Instead, just skirting around the point here. They find the sleep on the Eichenwalde, they get the kill. Anti goes down to the 2. Leave and Nisha, however, managed to stay alive. Sleep Dart connects on the Leave. Can they get the punish? Sticky bombs go in, they're trying to find
recall.
the kill. Not going to make, yeah, the recall comes through. They can't make it happen, and Becky ends up falling. Played way too far forward to try to get that elimination, gives his life for it. And in the end, it's just going to be the Chengdu Hunters occupying the point as the Valiant struggle to find a way back in. Hack the back lines here from Jinmu, holds onto the EMP, and the cap is just going to be there. Just shy of 4 minutes now on the time bank for the Chengdu Hunters as they start the push.
It's really good scouting from Jinmu there towards the end as well, just kind of debating whether he believes that the Valiant will go for the retake or not. If the Valiant goes for a retake, I think Jinmu would have to play for the EMP, but now both hands have been shaken from both teams in terms of holding on to their respective ultimates. Becky, a bit of damage, but is safe for now. How does Chengdu want to play the situation? Focusing on initial payload push is important, but they have to set up for this dive. Jinmu needs to be in position for this EMP. Gaga can jump at any time.
Becky doing his damage to try to pressure Gaga out. Get him into a spot where that beam can kill and maybe force the primal a little bit early. Grab still held. High ground. Contest comes in. Lings and Becky make their exit.
Oh, solo grab.
Grab comes through. They find Jinmu. They shut him down. I mean, that's actually a good choice in the end. Get rid of the EMP. Buy a little bit of extra time. Might not win the flashiest in the books, but yep, gets the fight win. Gets you some forward posture position here on the cart.
And oftentimes when we look towards this meta where grab is not typically going to get a huge amount of value, like you'd have to at least get 2, right? Just getting the 1 there, denying the EMP for now, I think is okay. Jinmu once again being caught Sashin twice now, getting that kill specifically on the Jinmu. Gaga's already committed though. He received the nano, so Chengdu still have to go in.
He did. Leave uses the pulse bomb. Doesn't get a kill with that, but still will find Molly in the end. Rally now rolling from Langsa, but this is looking like it's going to get canceled. No! Gaga cannot maintain the juggle. Langsa breaks away from it. Manages to stay alive, and now the rally offering up some green HP to the rest of the team while they wait for Molly to rejoin. He's still making his way out of the castle now. Dupe comes through. Eichenwalde now uses the EMP rather. Becky has another one for the follow-up fight. Translocates forward, dumps it in. Nisha gone. Looks for the hack on Leap, barely misses the window to be able to get it. Leap gets out, but the cart still held in place.
Double Sombra there is so critical as well. It just brutalizes Gaga. You saw the first EMP come through from Eichenwalde, deletes Gaga's shield, who he really needed that shield to stay alive. And then the follow-up as well. Becky finds his own EMP. 2 EMPs from Valiant in the same fight is just going to be brutal for the Chengdu Hunters. 1:30 left to go now. Resources drained. Jinmu's also out of an EMP. The Chengdu Hunters looking like they might struggle to finish this map, especially with that happening.
Yeah, picked off. Eichenwalde does get traded. He's going to have a pretty fast rejoin here. Now respawning, and Chengdu Hunters very much struggling to get themselves out of the gateway here.
Oh, they want Becky. Gaga's about to... He's just died.
He's
wow.
just dead.
Jinmu couldn't go in. Jinmu could not get LOS. He was looking for the hack onto Becky, couldn't get the LOS for the hack to happen. Becky receives a bubble from Sashin and just beats Gaga in the 1v1. That was incredible.
Okay, everything on this push here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Gaga continuously getting chunked out. Becky playing fearlessly far forward. As they're going to go ahead and do a swap. Leaves going for the Ash, trying to deal with Becky. Yeah, and he's just going to surrender it. Goes for the Tracer instead.
That's like 70% I think he lost on that. That's a huge chunk of EMP to go away. And like you said, leave on the Ash to challenge Becky, and I mean, this is kind of desperate measures in some cases. I would, in some ways, prefer leave to be on the Sojin, but I don't know if there's going to be enough time to charge up enough rails, so this is the more clear-cut way to deal with the issue.
It is a huge gamble being run right here for the Chengdu Hunters. Grab online, rally now rolling from Nisha. Dupe this time, going over the Winston. The grab is absolutely massive. Catches on to 3, but the kills are not there. Becky antied out, but still builds up the primal here in the dupe, but Langsa and Molly going to be eliminated. Nisha and Jinmu getting a piece of each support. They get taken down. Becky's juggling everybody into the back lines here. comes back into the fight, gets a couple sticky bombs across onto Monk, but he cannot
Session's
run
on
his
one.
life quite just yet. Sashin going to be taking down, kills himself off with the right click in the end. Another cart is finally pushing forward.
Jimbo's been pushing.
For the Chengdu Hunters, yeah. He's been just chasing it up, bringing it over towards the bridge. Easy Han contesting for now. Makes his way out with the translocator, holds onto the EMP. Leave, Dynamite woven through, catches him, the bomb already online. Pulse bomb as well
Wow.
from Jinmu could be deadly as they try to make their way out of this. He goes in, gets a stick, the bubble goes through, Sashin saves his life, finds Nisha, and no one touches the card!
The Bob was blocked by Linksa. Linksa shield bashed the Bob. The Bob was going to touch the payload, but Linksa disrupts it. That was such a heads-up play from Linksa. Unbelievable play. LA Valiant block all players that were going to go for the touch. And first of all, credit to Lee for even finding the Bob within the one life there. He swapped to the Ash with under a minute to go, and he charges that Bob in record time, and that Bob would have saved them had Linksa not blocked it. But that was such a great play from Linksa the Valiant to prevent the touch from coming in. Well done.
Forced C9, some forced errors here. The Valiant punishing the Chengdu Hunters. Now we are tied up 1-1. The triple map 5 is still on the menu. Dorado is going to be coming up next for our escort map. We'll see who is able to take that one away, move up to match point, but it doesn't really matter because we know it's going to 5 in the end anyway. We'll see what happens though, what the road, what this path holds for us when we come back from the break. So don't go anywhere, guys. The wild and crazy action will continue in just a few.
Engage.
And we are back and tied up 1-1 in our second series of the evening. The LA Valiant managing to answer back, getting the hold over it just in front of point B after there was a little bit of a whoopsie-daisy from the side of the Chengdu Hunters.
Yeah, to clarify the final moments of the payload push there as well onto Eichenwalde, just checking back on the replay, the Bob actually came in late, so yes, Lengsa did block the Bob with the shield bash, but the victory screen and the C9 actually did occur before the Bob was released, so a little slow there from leaving the rest of the Hunters, and the rest of the other members as well from Gaga, Jimmu, etc. did not manage to get the touch, so all members unfortunately were not able to affect the payload, and Valiant, well, regardless of how it occurred, they get the map win. And I dare say as well, even had Hunters actually touched and maybe have gotten the cap on B, Valiant had just so much more to work with. Hunters were already basically out of time, right? 130 would have been the maximum time to push on C anyway. It was not looking like a good map for them. Becky really shined on that Echo on both attack and defense for the Valiant. That was quite something to watch.
Yep. A little bit of minor oopsie. I'm losing my words in my mind because this evening has just been already A, long evening, B, power strip has fallen out from underneath my desk and my electronics are at risk, but we carry on. So I'll get my crap together and we'll keep going on this one. And hopefully the Chengdu Hunters can do very much the same because they need to avoid results and plays like that. Contesting the objective, always a good idea, especially when you're moving into escort. So we'll see if they can make it happen. As mentioned before, it's going to be Dorado to see who takes the lead in this series.
To really drive home the amount of what Becky really did in that particular series, man had 16,407 damage over the course of Eichenwalde. That is 38% of his team's entire damage. I'm looking over to what Leave and Jimmu did. I can tell you right now, first of all, neither of them actually even got 10k, so they both were under 5 digits. I've just calculated the damage together. This is the only one I can compare. So as a reminder, Becky, 16,407 just on his own. Jimmu and Leave combined, 16,969. Becky, as one player, nearly did Jimmu and Leave's entire combined damage, only about 560 off, roughly. 562 off.
Minorly impressive, to say the least.
So Becky's been a bit of a monster.
Just to frankly be disrespectful by saying that, but yeah, he has been huge. Let's see how he carries on. And see what he's going to be running, because we know it's not going to be the Bastion.
Yeah. Becky heard that Bastions do a lot of damage to tanks. But,
yeah.
You know what? Echo is his hero of choice.
I mean, hey, he flashed Soldier 76 for a second. He almost went against your advice.
Yeah, I know, but he's smart, though. He did listen to the advice, which I respect. Jimmy and Leave coming through from the Trace and Ash. We're going to be taking a look at that same kind of composition that we ended Eichenwalde with. I think the Ash is actually still pretty good for Dorado, so good call, especially versus the fact that he's probably expecting that Becky comes out on Echo again. Makes you low.
Hell of a lot of damage going forward onto him. Lengsa as well. Barely holding on, needs to get connected in with Molly. He's playing on the opposite side of the street.
Becky low.
Yeah, I'm
saved by the bubble, I think.
He's playing so aggressively. Dynamite out. Might have hit Sashin, but maybe bubbled off.
Chengdu back out. They gave up high ground. They have to go all the way back to the back of market now, as Valiant have already captured the control of the underpass there, the archway. So we're already back at Fountain.
Leave. Taking some shots, but also offering some up. There's a hit there onto Becky, but you can tell right now that Valiant's plan is just keep Becky alive. If Becky is in the fight, fight's probably going to go well.
Good dynamite. That's a good dynamite.
Molly getting burned here into the back line. The dive starts coming through. Gaga joins in the fight. They get the kills. Wow. Gets the second one as well as both supports go down. Leaf pushes Becky away with a coach gun. Looks for a little bit more. Becky makes his exit over the wall.
I think you can almost consider there, like, the dynamite from Ash is almost like the DPS anti-nade, because while it doesn't stop you from being healed, the effect of ticking over time damage there kind of slows down the healing that Monk and Niche, or rather Lengsa and Molly would be giving. So, essentially, with both supports and Valiant being burned, Gaga sees the opening, dives in, gets both the kills on both the supports. So brilliant follow-up there. Dynamite into Gaga diving, and that will be the defense secured, at least for that fight, down to 2 minutes now. That's half the time shaved off for the Valiant.
So far, so good on the defense. Hack. They're on the Monk. They're looking to try to take him out. Then Erebus goes through on the leave just to keep him alive. Works a tree. Now the Bob nearly ready to go. With that dynamite, he will have it. See when he decides to use it. Becky, in the meantime, going to go for the dupe. Goes
now,
immediately.
He's got to do it now.
Gaga. Copies the Winston. The Bob going to be invested. Leave gets taken down to the back end of that one. However, the Bob can be dealt with a simple sleep dart. But Becky going to be knocked out. And easy, honey. Got his EMP canceled. Nisha finishes him with a shield bash. Mid-cast. Takes him down immediately. Pops the rally to ensure that they win out the rest of the fight. And by God, they are going to do so. Sashin. Grab was used, but I think it was a whiff. Didn't quite get to catch it with my own eyes, but
no.
Oh boy, have things come spiraling down for the Valiant. This is a completely different look.
It'd be multiple whiffs there as well. Becky also gets a duplicate deleted very quickly on that play. Sure, I think the one good thing that happened was that the hack from Easyhan came through and leaves Bob, and despite that, the Bob wasn't shooting much anyway. Let's take a look at Nisha again on that cancel. Boom. Sees a play, sees Easyhan, and instantly takes him down. Shades of 2021. Chengdu Hunters playing Brig versus the Sombras of last year. This time, though, Jimmu will go down to Becky.
Again, looking for leave. They know that try to displace that Ash, and they have done so. Nisha going to fall as well, so it's a second extended kill as Jinmu looks to rejoin, but the cart has pushed through into A. Enough space was bought. 30 seconds remaining. They got there, so now it's just 3 minutes to try to go for the second phase. Becky burning down, and Jinmu chases in for the finisher. Lead with 11 HP, still standing.
Sashin. Bubbles, safe, fine, okay. Valiant now playing for the long push forward going through. Time is going to be an issue here. Can they finish the map? Yet to be determined. They would have to start snowballing quite consecutively through these next couple of points. With Chengdu holding on to ultimates, this will be difficult. Now taking high ground is going to be next to impossible for Sashin. They have to rely on Becky.
Okay. Becky starts things off with the right foot forward. Finds leave while he's nanoed up. Just for a little bit of extra damage. Sticky Bomb's not quite hitting there on the Monk, but Nisha takes a hell of a beating. Gaga hacked, beamed down. There's the sticky bombs from behind as Becky cleans up the supports. Jinmu will find one for his troubles. Looks for a little bit more, but Langsley shuts him down. Now the cart continues to glide, making decent pace right now considering the limited time bank that they had. Just a minute gone, and they're getting ready to round the final corner.
Now, Chengdu tried to flip that fight around by first of all defending and deflecting Becky. Successful, you get that one. However, then they tried to turn the fight around as, by the way, Jinmu's on top. Chengdu tried to turn the fight around by diving on top of Valiant onto the low ground, and that's when they got punished. They forgot about Becky. He dives down, Stickies gets the executions, and that's more than enough. Turret set down in main. Jinmu spots Becky. Oh, mid-reload, though. If he wasn't reloading, he might have had a dink on there.
Okay. Jinmu does manage to stay alive with the Torb. Kites his way back indoors. EMP comes across.
Turret shut down.
Absolutely everyone. 5-man EMP, leave the first one to fall. So far, the only one to fall. As they look for a little bit more, Nisha going to be popping that rally as soon as he gets it. Becky taking a nap with the Winston, getting the full Winston treatment. Grab goes out and looking for Nisha. Eventually can pressure him down. The turret gets the break onto Becky's dupe, but it's not of much consequence here for the side of the Valiant. They get the push across the line here in the end with about a minute remaining. Now have 2.5 for this final stretch of Dorado.
Now, Jinmu probably took away some extra ult charge from his previous hero, but respectfully, he's on 92% after one fight. That's actually a lot of damage coming out from Jinmu, considering they actually lost that fight as well, and the turret was hacked out by the EMP in the beginning stages. But as we sort of mentioned there, the turret actually did take away Becky's dupe. Molten Core's available now. I don't know how big the Molten Core is actually going to be. Only the two supports in Sashin can realistically be caught. Easyhan now on a Sojin as well. Double turrets. You consider that Bob is basically a turret. You get 2 turrets here for Chengdu.
Turret on the flank, the Molten Core going to be locked in, and Lang's melted. It gets Molly as well, and yeah, it works a treat. Jinmu says, "Okay, my job here is done."
No
Works
way.
his way into the back, spams out a couple more shots for Easyhan. If he had hit him once, he would have gotten the elimination.
God.
Unreal.
Nothing in the world makes sense anymore after that.
Yep.
I really have seen everything now.
Just killed them all.
Chengdu just swaps back to Tracer. Oh my goodness. Swaps to, well, whatever he's going to. He gets off the top, swaps the Torb for like 1.5 fights, plays one Molten Core, wins, refuses to elaborate, goes Genji. Unbelievable. From Jinmu. Okay.
Becky shut down. Gaga struck down with Molly under fire, and somehow they actually all collapse in to save his life. He's down about half HP, but the collapse comes through. Chengdu Hunters lose several members of the card again, pushing forward. Sasha tries to get the second kill on the leave, and
he's
they
dead.
will find him.
That's a problem.
And it
Needed
is.
to bob. He should have known he was going to die. He needed to bob there. That's an issue.
And okay, they do manage to get the touch this time around. 79 meters left to go. The grab comes lobbing in. They're still within contest distance, but there's just no surviving this one. A massive grab catch there from Sasha. The Bob moves his way forward. We'll keep things contested for a little bit longer. The Bob's going to be pushed away, and the cap will come through, and the Valiant managed to finish things with 20 seconds remaining.
Wow. Okay, well, Chengdu having leave being caught there. No 5 players alive. Couldn't coordinate with all 5 together to make the final defense worthwhile. Well, just work for them. It's always going to be worthwhile, isn't it? Bob coming through at least will be able to engage a touch. Unfortunately, that's about all it will engage, as it will be summarily pushed away as the only remaining member of the team alive after all is said and done. Chengdu Hunters will bleed the timer down to 20, not quite the OT, although 20 is reasonable. So, question was asked earlier, like, can Valiant finish from their position on B, which I think they had about 240-ish time remaining, if I remember correctly, and off the back that they pushed through B, still retain 20 seconds on the cap, which means I think they've, I don't know if I want to say overperformed, but they've definitely exceeded expectations of how far they were going to get based on their time remaining when they started B.
Well, now once more to the defense here for the Valiant. Is this just going to be a repeat of Eichenwalde where they get the completion with limited time? Granted, it was overtime the first time. Or no, did they finish the time? I don't even remember. I think it was OT on Eichenwalde,
Who
right?
win?
Valiant. Last map.
Yeah, they definitely got all 3
Doesn't
caps.
matter.
I can't remember if they have time. I can't remember if they have time, but they definitely got all 3 caps. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole point of this is, will the Chengdu Hunters be able to finish the map and take us into OT, or will they get held once more? We'll have to see. Becky is looking for that air superiority once more. Need some dynamite bubbles instantly there from Sasha. He's been Johnny on the spot with these.
Has to be respectful of Leave. You can see the shots coming through. Leave knows who his target is. It's a bit more passive from the Chengdu Hunters. You'll notice that, you know, through this kind of gameplay, it's Gaga having to kind of hold the ground and just buy time and space for Leave to commit damage, and then Leave's trying to get aggressive as well. Look at his angles. He's pushing all the way up, even in front of Gaga sometimes.
His way here onto the high ground. Dynamite again, just around the corner. Only finds Sasha. Just trying to build up where possible.
Sasha's burning a lot of bubbles.
That he is. Both going to be on cooldown. Should be coming up here shortly, though, and that's why they're going to start pushing forward, trying to contest this high ground. Or at least hold them at bay, not give up too much free space, but Gaga's looking to take it for himself. Goes diving forward. Becky up over the top. Sticky Bomb's going to find a good amount of damage, and the beam comes across to kill off Jinmu. And with that opener, Becky is just completely unleashed. Finds another, and oh, no, there's no health pack there for you, Nisha. Ends up dying. Monk somewhere has slept, and now he's finished off. And that is going to be a very nice start here to the defense for the side of the Valiant.
Yeah, and I don't know if this gets any easier for the Chengdu Hunters. That was a reasonable start to a dive, but Chengdu Hunters losing Jinmu. Becky strong in the skies, a ton of damage. Easy Hunter's receiving a bubble from Sashin to allow him to stay there and build the EMP. He's on 99, cresting across 100. He's happy with that. And now the setup for the EMP play. Nano on board for Molly as well. Things are looking great for the Valiant coming to the next fight.
Certainly are. Becky, though. Okay. Well, follow-up shot from Leaf. Not going to connect. Still just hunting him at every twist and turn, trying to swat the fly. Hasn't been able to make it happen yet. That's going to be the nano boost out onto Becky.
Where's Easy Hunt?
Jumps up, tries to contest him. Becky widely, the nano is going to be mitigated.
Oh, the
swing dart comes across. What a shutdown. Monk is in pole position, gets him with a charged up right click. And there you go. Cart now moving forward. Chengdu Hunters should have A off of this.
There was no EMP in that fight. That was the one ultimate that the Valiant sort of saved there. And had the fight gone a bit longer, Becky would have had the duplication. The EMP comes through, but there's no one there to help.
No, there's not. Gaga, okay, he does get something. Don't wake him up. I thought maybe they were going to. Anti goes out, trying to get the punish. It's not going to happen. Chengdu, however, dead. And now Becky, he makes his return. He gets revenge on Monk. Shuts him down. The dynamite quite big here. Becky immediately going to be knocked out of the duplicate, but the Chengdu Hunters, they have been saved off. This retake from the side of the Valiant ends up working out for them.
That includes the kind of low-value EMP. It's definitely not a whiffed EMP, but zero value there. I mean, no one was in a follow-up at all. Gaga surviving on 1 HP. He'll be okay. Last minute now, and Chengdu Hunters, I mean, it's looking kind of like Eichenwalde, where, sure, they can cap A, but the time is just so low. There's a grab coming through as well. Monk can and probably will get this counter. Has to be wary of the Molly nade, because even with the trance going up, the nade can just sort of completely ruin the game plan. Hunters will at least have legs in this fight via the Primal. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, well, the Primal's popped. Gaga's antied, however. Transcendence from Monk just to keep him alive and leave dead on the back of the grab.
Oh,
now
my.
Monk taken down as well. Becky again with the sticky bombs. Comes up huge. 28 seconds remaining. Jinmu dead. The staggers are brutal for the Chengdu Hunters. Nisha, he cannot die, and he does not. Manages to make it out safe.
20 seconds.
Gaga now swapping over to the Zarya.
Yeah, this is late in the day as well. I mean, he's already burned the Primal, so it's kind of whatever, right? At this point, they're going to try anything. No great bubble targets, so he's going to have to maybe just bubble himself, maybe support Leave a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see who commits the first touch. Jinmu is in position to go for the touch. He's actually
Can they?
kind of
Okay,
waffling around the edge. Okay, let me Leave.
Leave dashes his way in. It's a spot there on the Becky who goes up into the air. The EMP instantly greets Leave point blank in his face.
Gaga's dead.
The first to fall. Pulse bomb now on live. Leave needs to be huge with this one, but he goes just a bit shy of Molly. Cannot get that connection. Nisha now going to be taken down. Sasha claims the second kill in the fight. Leave with a sliver of HP. Finished off by Easy Han, and that is going to be the full hold coming through. The Valiant will take the lead. They do it again. Finish the map. Get the hold. They move up now 2-1.
Man, Valiant really looking like the real deal here. Chengdu coming to the series with a great record, looking fantastic in this meta, looking like one of the stronger teams in this particular region for this Countdown Cup 4th stage. With a lot to fight for. I mean, both teams have a lot to fight for here. It's play-ins lock-in for the team that can escape 7th place, and LA Valiant currently resting in 7th place. They're nipping at the heels of the Guangzhou Charge, and if they can win the series today, they'll only be 1 point away from catching the Guangzhou Charge. And victory is so close now. They can taste it, they can feel it. It's just barely within their hands, but can they grasp it, or will it slip through their fingers? 2-1 is a scoreline I've seen the Valiant sit at multiple times this season, and they have also lost multiple times despite having this lead, so they have to close it out.
This is the stars aligning, though, because they have the 2-1 overall record this season versus the Chengdu Hunters, right? They have had the Chengdu Hunters number so far. We'll see if they can add a third win to that tally as we get ready. Colosseo is coming up next, though. That is a big boon for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. That has been one of their most consistent maps for them. They always have looked good there on push. So the Valiant have a tall order to try to close this out with a 3-1. Otherwise, it will be us going to yet another map 5. We'll see what happens when we come back for the break. Push is coming up next, so don't go anywhere. 2-1 the scoreline as the Valiant managed to take Dorado for themselves. The question here is, do the Chengdu Hunters continue to maintain impeccable performances on Colosseo to take us into yet another Game 5?
Oh boy, and I'm excited about one particular thing coming through with the Valiant right now, but I'm sure we'll get the information in just a hot second, but I'll just say it because I want to talk about it.
A lot of people will be excited.
D has been subbed in for the LA Valiant to land potentially the final punch required to send Chengdu packing in this series. Daisy also coming for Gaga to potentially play some of that Zarya, potentially Sigma as well. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an off-tank battle on Colosseo for sure. I don't exactly know what D is going to play, though. The issue is that, first of all, as much as I'm excited, he is going to be subbing in for Becky, who has been phenomenal this series. Now, what is he actually going to play playing? Is he going to be on a Widowmaker? Colosseo has not been, so far, a Widow map. I mean, we're not going to Junkertown. This isn't Circuit Royale, right? It's a very different map. Becky's also a flex DPS player on specifically like Tracer, Echo, Genji. Those are his three heroes. Eichenwalde is also a hit scan player, so a Valiant looking at a double hit scan look. I mean, what are we seeing here? Because if Dia wants to go Sojin, that's also been Eichenwalde's hero. So is it going to be like a Sojin Sombra look with Eichenwalde on the Sombra? Those are the questions I raise for what we're going to see on Dorado.
Time will tell as we jump into Colosseo. See what they have prepped for us here. And a very back and forth and close-knit New Queen Street in our previous series for Shanghai to be able to take us into a Game 5. Let's see how the Valiant now fare, though, as for now, Dia is flashing the Genji.
That would be a different look.
That's a fairly large departure from what we're used to seeing from him, that's for sure.
I don't know that I've ever seen Dia play Genji. Reaper now, that's more of a common look. I'm sure anyone could. I don't know. I kind of.
Well,
I think I probably underrate the importance of specific Diva players, but every team I see places a lot of high value on that. I mean, Rush specifically keeps Edison in to play Genji simply because his ability to just flex over towards the Reaper. They really, really care about the Reaper gameplay. And so, look, I'll give Valiant the benefit of the doubt. Dia is going to be the Reaper guy for this team to move on through. I don't think we'll really be swapping off this either. Why is that? Why do you like the Reaper guy?
I don't even remember the full copy pasta, but, you know, whatever. He's got the guns and the stuff. Whatever.
Revolvers, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, his revolver ability is great. Sasha, big anti-nade, goes out, and yeah, clearly the bubbles just were not there, so Sasha goes down. Nisha actually able to find the killing blow on that one. The rest of the team finding a level of stability, but Daisy is just completely juiced up right now. 80 energy, looking for Molly. Bionade goes down to keep himself alive. They push Daisy back. They get him into a corner. They almost take him down, but Dia over-pursues for the kill and ends up getting punished for it. So now the bot is going to be pushing here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters.
Yeah, we'll see if Chengdu can get more distance here as well, because initial fight win on the push will give you something like 25 to 30 meters. Now as Valiant have their team together again, Jimmu's looking for this blade. They'll have Nano Blade in just a hot minute here, but Jimmu has to fall off, which will require the rest of the Hunters to fall off as well. So they want to be fighting more in neutral territory. Daisy nearly wants to grab.
Some of these ult charge times have been absolutely crazy. Jinmu slept with the Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade, I should say, and Monk gets taken down as Dia was energized by a Nano of his own. Jinmu does manage to stay alive at least for a little bit longer, tries to go diving into the back line. Dia eventually deals with him, goes into the Wraith Walk, and cleans up a third kill quite easily there onto Daisy. As Leaf will be the last one to fall. So now back into control here are the Valiant. 30-meter setup for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Nothing that is insurmountable, but Leaf does nearly have that EMP ready to rock.
Let's take a look at that sleep dart again. Here we go. That was a Nano into...
Oh.
Wow, it is a mid-dash sleep. Molly Nano's D-up. Sees Jimmu.
In his hitbox.
As Jimmu dashes forward, it just barely manages to connect that sleep dart. That's critical.
Grab now, first used by Daisy. Sound barrier on the back end for the Chengdu Hunters to win out the fight. Leaf finds Sachin. Eichenwalde going to be taken down, and Jinmu just cleans up too. Yeah, not much to be done here. He said slept, so it's a very clean team kill. Chengdu Hunters not losing anybody as they wipe the floor with the Valiant. They get the bot close, but crucially, it's not the lead.
And Monk as well with the save there. I mean, I think the extra sound barrier for insurance policy was important from Nisha from both ends to play that sound barrier. But yeah, we have Jinmu Blade shut down earlier. Monk was shot down Death Blossom. Here comes the grab now. Nisha deleted, Daisy to follow.
Nice cleanup here from Sashin to get both. Looks for a little bit more. The bot not too far forward. I mean, there's some 7 extra meters set up here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, just gaining inches where they possibly can. And this is one of the matchups I was actually really excited about when we saw the swaps coming through that I forgot to mention is Sashin versus Daisy, because it's 2 complete specialists on the Zarya squaring off against each other. So far, Daisy, though, has had the upper hand.
It's also the difference of like compositions where the DPSs are the main talking points here, because it's Sombra Genji versus a now Dia nanoed up. As by the way, the flip came through, Valiant has the lead.
Okay, just stays long enough just to set up for Sashin to get that final blow. With Daisy gone, the bot can continue to push, getting ever closer towards that checkpoint.
Oh,
Sashin just continues to tear them apart with that kill onto Daisy. That allows him to catch up.
What happened to Jinmu there? I'm not too sure, but just multiple deaths. The problem here is there's so many late deaths that Valiant can threaten the cap. They gotta get it. They gotta get the cap. There's no contest. Chengdu are too far behind. Now it doesn't matter what happens to the Valiant. Even if Valiant loses fight, they got the objective. In fact, they leave. They know they're gonna lose the fight. So they regroup with Eichenwalde. Eichenwalde gets the forward spawn, and now they can hold the neutral. That was an incredible line of play from the Valiant, and it all comes off the back of staggering a few very late deaths on the Chengdu Hunters.
EMP at the ready. Goes for it. Finds 3. Sashin on the front line. Managing to stay alive for a little bit longer. The blade pulled out here by Jinmu. It's not going to be the swipe that kills him, but Jinmu will still get Eichenwalde. And now this is a very good opportunity for the Chengdu Hunters to try to bring this back a little bit. Molly going to go running forward. Gives himself up.
Need another fight, though.
They do. Unless the Valiant
That's the issue.
AFK.
EMP... Valiant will come back. The EMP plus Blade to clean up that fight costs you 2 ultimates. Valiant hold on. Look at the Valiant ultimates. We're about to come online for 5. So if we're talking about the capability of Valiant to hold this point, they absolutely can. Chengdu come up on 3 ultimates themselves, but it's pure numbers here. As long as Valiant don't randomly drop members here, like Chengdu randomly drop members here, should be unlikely to see the cap. Daisy grab
solo onto Daisy. Nice body block there from Sashin as well. Just cutting off line of sight so Monk couldn't get some of those shots woven through to try to heal him through it.
That was cheap. 1 grab.
Very cheap. 1 grab fight win. Chengdu Hunters to get within 5 meters, but now they're losing out on that bot.
So Chengdu now, because we reset back to the mid, Chengdu need to win a mid fight and then a fight at the cap. So 2 fights is still the distance for Chengdu to equalize and cap themselves in 4.5 minutes left. Certainly plenty of time to do it, but can they win the first of 2 fights here?
Nano onto Dia. Pops the Wraith Walk, stays alive, leaves sniped. Nice shot from Eichenwalde. Does have that overclock held. Sound barrier in response to Daisy's grab. He can't play off the back of it because he gets antied out. The Nano's used as well. He does manage to find 1. But is that good enough to gain control a little bit more? Sasha taking a beating here in the front line. Eichenwalde sliding away. Sasha trying to match. Overclock. Now popped. Monk dead instantly. Nice headshot there from Eichenwalde. He finds Nisha as well. That's the sport's gone. And that is going to be Daisy. Taken out. The front line completely broken down. The nade around the corner. Eichenwalde pushes in for it. Jinmu, he will get him back, but it costs him his life. And Sasha just continues to bring the bot forward. Now they're going to gain some extra distance. Forward spawn
they'll sneak the distance.
Obtained.
They should be backing out. Valiant should not be committing to this fight, so as they steal distance... Okay, now they are committed because Sasha slept. These 3 members could just die here now.
They're going to try to walk out. Daisy very quickly builds up a hell of a lot of energy.
They made it. Hunters respect it. Valiant made it out. That's criminal. Well, I mean, to be fair, that was also good by the Valiant. They just kind of, Sasha wakes up, bubbles him and his team away. EMP now from leave, catches 4.
Yep. Picks him up. Dia trying to turn the tide of the fight. Pops that Death Blossom, but is swiftly dealt with. Only Jinmu going to be lost. I don't think he was going to be committing the Dragon Blade into that fight at all. Leaf slept, but Chengdu Hunters, they can definitely grab that checkpoint here as Eichenwalde waits to respawn.
Valiant have to go for the fight now. They have to actually drag this fight towards the point. So Daisy's trying to get aggressive, but he's solo on the stairs.
Yep, they've already contested this.
He's got to be careful.
Daisy's
going for it. He is grabbing. He's going to grab.
Yep, goes for it. Finds Molly. Could be good Valley. The bot again going to be pushing forward. Gets closer and closer towards that checkpoint. Wraith Walk expiring here from Dia. Trying to get some of that lifesteal in, but Daisy's 100 energy. He becomes an absolute monster. Jumps up over the top. Tracks down Sashin, finds the kill, and that is the checkpoint obtained for the Chengdu Hunters, who can absolutely take the lead once more. The blade, the Nano now online.
Daisy's by himself. He was solo versus the Valley. I'm like, dude, Chengdu is no one supporting on the payload. Chengdu is trying to cap right now. They don't have their main tank. This is an issue for the Chengdu Hunters. Daisy says, hold my 100 energy.
Oh, Dia hacked right before the blade gets pulled, so he cannot go into the Wraith Walk as Chengdu cuts apart 4 of them. He's looking for the 5th. Molly a little bit more
Ace,
elusive,
baby.
but he gets him in the end. That is the ace. And now the Chengdu Hunters are firmly in control.
My goodness, now we're cooking with fire. Hunters from a Daisy carry on the Zarya to a Jinmu Nanoblade 5k onto the Ace, and Valiant left hurting after that. Look at this, it's now a 30-meter gap. Valiant led for so long, but Hunters with 130 left to go have 103. Payload stolen though. Valiant is sneaking the payload away.
They're doing their damnedest. Langset is leading it. Carrot on a stick in front of the bot. He's hungry.
Technically not stolen, Hunters gave it up. So Hunters actually gave it up and Valiant pushed it back. That's what happened. So I'll clean up the verbiage there as we go back towards neutral.
EMP.
Reset.
Online, leave. Rushing up into the front. And where did Dia go? He just disappears. Sashin follows suit. Daisy cleans up a second one. Now a third.
Oh my goodness.
And that is the team kill. The Chengdu Hunters just keep the bot locked in this position. 50 seconds left to go here for the side of the Valiant. They do have a sound barrier to work with, but Nisha's got one to counter.
Dia's been
continuously keeps catching these hacks.
He's catching hacks and he's catching deaths as well. He's been continuing on a respawn for a while now. Daisy is so far ahead of Sashin. Just look at the grab difference there as well. Daisy's trying to stay alive here. Still has one more bubble.
And he does.
Well supported.
Yeah, not going to go down. 95 energy for him. The grab now online. Just pick a target, catches 2, throws it in. Sound barrier has to be used in response. Izihan opens up with 1 kill. That's leave now out of the fight. Jinmu low on HP. Sashin trying to build up some energy here. Has Monk separated in the back lines. They will be able to clean him up, but now the long run back begins in overtime.
Yeah.
They cannot lose anybody else.
Wow. What is that, 36 meters to go? Yeah, it's going to be several fights. One more fight in the neutral here as the forward spawns still allow the Chengdu Hunters to respawn as a group. Look at that. All 5 alive, leave on the back line. Not quite onto an EMP just yet, but the Nano Blade is going to be there. Watch for Leave to ping out targets for Jinmu. Jinmu to then dive in. As long as he's well supported with the bubble, he's okay.
The bubble's in. Molly, one more slash, finishes him off. Sound barrier goes out from the Chengdu Hunters. Nisha shielding up everybody else while Easyhan tries to stay alive, but he just cannot. Death Blossom is in from Dia. Catches 1, but he's still so very low on HP. Leave as well. Quite low. Sashin kills himself off. The right click finishes him. Jinmu's still alive, pops the deflect, gets some extra healing in from Monk. They keep him alive, and they keep the series alive. Chengdu Hunters, they just cannot fail on Colosseo, it would seem. They close it out. A damn good start for the Valiant, but Chengdu on this map seemingly are inevitable. They get the win, and once more, we are going to map 5.
Speaking of inevitability, try as you might, the LA Valiant cannot escape from map 5. They must go to a map 5. It's the Valiant way. But the tricky part is they don't necessarily always win the map 5, and this is kind of the curse that I'm talking about as well. This is why you can't celebrate when they're at a 2-1 lead. I've seen the Valiant be at a 2-1 lead so many times this year, across the board. 2-1 lead. We saw this over and over in the kickoff clash alone. It took them a long time to break that curse. Being at match point for the Valiant does not give you enough confidence that they will win. They really, really have to try their hardest to somehow get that map 3. And oftentimes, Ilios, that map 3 win doesn't come in until the 5th and final map. If it all comes in at all.
Well, here we go again. Map 5 set up. This time it's going to be Ilios to see who is walking away the winner. The Chengdu Hunters. It might not be a reverse sweep, but they certainly are fighting back here after dropping 2 maps to the Valiant in a row. So now we'll see who can close things out at the very end, whether or not we get, 3 rounds at the end of it all as well. Seems like it's going to be fated to have that happen. But that is going to happen on the opposite side of the break, so don't go anywhere, guys. The action has been absolutely wonderful, so you don't want to miss a single second of it. We'll see you guys in just a few. Here we go again. Map 5 twice in a row, and maybe even 3 times, as we do have yet another series that is going to be happening here tonight. And honestly, at this point, I think at the pace that we are going, we're basically going to have to just hand off over to Mitch, who's been hosting the NA broadcast this week.
Straight to NA, yeah.
Because we might just go shift straight in and get, whatever, 8 consecutive hours of Overwatch League gameplay. At that point, it would actually be a lot more than that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Game 5 coming up. It's going to be Ilios, the decider, here in our second set to see if it's the Valiant or the Chengdu Hunters walking away with their heads held high.
Yeah, and, of course we have to go back to a map 5 for this. By the way, we talked about this before. I think I brought it up, but my record for a single broadcast is 14 maps. So let's see if we can break it today. Maybe we go the full distance of 15. We're already 10 out of 15. Talk about the subs first and foremost. Marvel coming for Sashin, Becky coming in for Dia, and we are going to a control map. So Marvel coming in to play, the Winston again. Makes a lot of sense. I'll just spoil it now. It's going to be Ilios. So, yeah, this all is completely on brand for the side of the Valiant. I'm most excited for Becky to go back on the Echo. I think Ilios is a great map for Echo. Yeah. And Becky has been hard carrying on the Echo so far. And I think if the Valiant do beat Hunters today, especially in this map 5, Becky is going to be the reason why. He has been, I think, the linchpin of the damage line of the team so far for the Valiant across the board.
Well, here we go. Lighthouse to start things off. Like you said, the Echo, definitely a good shout on this map. And pretty much every single regard, no matter which rounds we get to see here, Echo is going to have a hell of a lot of valuability. So could just see it the whole way through.
I wonder what game is going to be on the Encore today. Because so far, 2 of the matches on map 5. Is it? Okay.
I believe
hello,
so.
Encore.
I was looking at the schedule earlier.
If you're watching from the Encore in the future, hello. So basically, Seth, if we go to 15 here, and then the Encore plays, that's like 20 maps in a row, right? With the Encore included. That'd be interesting.
Very true.
So that will just go straight into watch points. So, hello Desk, hello Overwatch League Desk. Okay, let's get this map underway. It is going to be the Marvel Winston as expected. Easy Han is going to be on the Sombra, and no Echo for Becky. Oh my goodness, what's going on? To be fair though, Becky Tracer has also been pretty damn good as well, but I dare say his Echo has been his main carry character, at least in this series.
I mean, yeah, considering what we saw on Eichenwalde, on Dorado, I would have to agree with you. Monk going to be taking a nap. Looks like no one's going to be able to really dive in to get him though. Marvel gives it a good old college try. Becky now recall burned. Quick hop forward, Jinmu avoiding that one, just spamming out. Spot small, gets a nice headshots in, but then gets hacked, and Easy Han burns him down. Nisha and Monk now under fire. Becky coming around the flank, trying to get involved, trying to get some kills. He won't be able to claim any for himself, but offers up a hell of a lot of damage. Nearly has that pulse online, already at 74%. And that is the Valiant holding firm on the first volley.
And Jinmu's going to go straight over towards the Tracer. Wants to just fight on the ground, match Becky if he can. Becky's already very far ahead. Obviously, Jinmu's going to retain 30% from his Genji gameplay. Valiant, first cap in the lead. Really curious to see what Becky can do with his pulse bomb. He can get a free fight one just off the back of it.
Dicey hacked out there for just a brief moment, but Becky gets into the back, finds Nisha. The pulse bomb might not have done the trick, but the pulse pistol certainly did. Now the rest of the Chengdu Hunters, again, just hightailing it back towards the dropship, trying to stay alive.
Dicey kind of gets stuck on the indoors T section there as well. He's okay though, looking towards that grab. So so one more reminder here, we don't have Gaga and it's still Dicey, so Chengdu want to close this series out with an off-tank look. Marvel receives Nano. Becky gets another kill.
And, yeah, I mean, everybody was just kind of split off. Becky and Molly going on a bit of a duo mission, find Nisha. Nano now out onto the Dicey, trying to keep him alive. This will get him the Graviton Surge online, but can he use it? I mean, he's only got 19 energy, so in all likelihood, no. And the kills continue to be found here for the side of the Valiant. They lose out of Molly, but they've managed to find 2. Now they find Dicey as well. EMP online from Leave, and it's going to have to be the full-in send from the Chengdu Hunters if they want to touch this point.
Or Eichenwalde will go next, go first rather, so that could be an issue as well. First EMP can really set the stage here. Jinmu, by the way, on an Echo.
True.
So Becky's not going to play the Echo, but Jinmu apparently, well, he's fresh on the character as well. Lever's already on point. He will engage the touch.
Okay.
Solo on the lane,
Gets right up on the legs.
That's Molly as well.
The supports. Molly, however, still at distance. Now the counter EMP comes through, and Becky and Eichenwalde, they play off the back of it beautifully. The DPS annihilated on the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Nisha, now Monk, dead. Daisy throws the grab in complete and pure desperation. But he is swatted into the corner, dealt with, and 100-0 is the starting point. Chengdu Hunters couldn't do a damn thing on Lighthouse.
Valiant are so clean so far on this map, and generally speaking, the series minus maybe the Colosseo loss here, but Becky carried his way through again. He put Nisha into the dirt. How many fights in a row? I counted at least 2 fights in a row where he first picked Nisha. Whether it's a pulse bomb or not, doesn't matter. Even in the final fight there, finds Nisha, got the pulse bomb stick. Leave might have dropped the first EMP, catching the double supports there, but Eichenwalde drops on top of way more members, including Leave. Chengdu lose their damage dealers. Valiant, I think, still at least kept one of the supports alive. I think Molly might have made it the way through, and regardless of that, Becky got the damage done. Becky's been phenomenal. Can they close out Valiant? One more round left to go.
Becky?
Chengdu trying to hold on.
Can we add Becky to the MVP poll? Is it too late? Just squeeze
Maybe
in another player.
Maybe a late entry into Rookie of the Year, I don't know.
Well, quick exit there from Eichenwalde. Gets out while the getting's good. Stays alive, and so far Chengdu Hunters forward posturing. It's looking good as far as the damage is concerned, and Becky just disappears. Prime target to be found.
Got him.
Even so, he's already halfway to a pulse bomb. His damage output is incredible.
Chengdu Hunters will be happy to at least have shut him down so far. And there it is. That's the Echo we've been waiting for. You said halfway to a pulse bomb. Becky says, I might just shave 20% ult charge off, start fresh onto an Echo with 30%, see where we go from there. Despite Monk getting that kill, by the way, Molly still leads on Nano, so that's important for the Valiant pushing through. First cap is Hunters.
Some tags going in.
Okay,
Monk trying to snipe him out of the sky. Nisha going to be taken down. Does get Becky. Sleep dart across.
That's
Marvel
a big sleep.
hit. Dead. Huge one. Right now, Chengdu Hunters faring far better compared to what we just witnessed. I mean, granted, it was, you know, nigh impossible basically to not do better considering they got 0% in the last round. So,
yeah, I would say they're doing about 40% better currently. No, I'll make that 41. As Chengdu Hunters, they will have all ultimates available. Jinmu hacked out, but yeah, he's okay. He's got the bubbles there protecting. We've got Nanoblade online now. Hunters are leading in quite a clear fashion as Valiant do lose first fight. Becky first death. EMP catching 3. Nisha dead.
yeah, good opening kill. Monk Dicey still staying alive. There's the counter EMP. Eichenwalde taken down. Managed to find one. Monk under so much duress right now. Does finally fall, but not before Jinmu comes up absolutely massive with the blade. There's just nothing that Becky can do here. Did we just go 100% into a 100% for the Chengdu Hunters to extend this into a third round? Because right now it's looking like
that would be the most Chengdu zone thing ever, but it would also be the most Valiant thing ever as well. You'd think Valiant would ever get an easy, comfortable win? No, never. All their wins come at great cost. If they can get the wins at all. Final fight territory now. Lots of ultimates still online for the Valiant. Grab online for Daisy.
Lobs into the back, finds Molly. Bubbles in from, trying to keep him alive, but they're just unable to do so. Becky with the dupe, doing his damnedest, but it's just not quite enough. Does manage to find Leaf, however. 1 kill picked up. Daisy still needs to be respected, however.
Becky nearly grabbed.
Massive amount of energy on him, and Marvel taken down. He slept the grab, does come through. Becky tries to play off the back of it with a beam. He gets 1 with the sticky bombs, but that's about it. Valiant, they did seal away the point, but now the flip is about to be right back into the hands of the Chengdu Hunters.
And Marvel, no primal in that fight. He might have been hacked, I'm not too sure. But the cap comes through, Eichenwalde touches. Life has been preserved, that's important. Marvel hacked out, wants the primal. Here we go, here it is.
Pops it, but now they need to stay in onto the point. No ults now from either side once this primal is over. The Daisy still building up massive amounts of energy. Back up to 100, looks to break down the bubble, tries to push into it. Still under fire as Becky tries to get on top of him with that Tracer. Jinmu going to be the first one to fall. Now Nisha going to be taken down. The Valiant, they get the reflip back into their control. And this is not yet finished here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. They have to fight back.
Just too much damage pressure coming through from Valiant. We saw from Daisy's POV there. 100 energy on board, but no bubble, so he couldn't push on forward. He was below half HP for the majority of that fight. I mean, it was too hard to keep him alive. And Daisy couldn't get the damage done. If he had the capability just to walk forward with that 100 energy, he could have carved his way through the Valiant, but Valiant are not going to go down that easily. Valiant are still on board to maybe finish off this map. Not going to be 100-0. 3 ultimates available for Valiant. Waiting for Nano Blade for Chengdu.
The dive, they're looking for Nisha. Bubble out from Daisy saves his life. That's crucial because he nearly has that Jimmer ready to go. Blade out from Jinmu, looking for a target.
No,
everybody's got him. Now they find Becky. They got the sleep Molly taken down. Easy Han able to find Daisy after using the EMP, but Lead uses one of his own, and the fight is very much going the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Lengsa and Easy Han, the last member standing. Becky just now respawning. The OT forced out Lengsa well into the back. Nothing that he can do. Ends up falling, but they have got the touch. The Valiant, there's a hope. There's a chance.
4v5 though.
Back in
Nisha
once
still
more.
has the bait. Watch Daisy, nearly grab as well.
This should be the Chengdu Hunters. They need to nail these ults. They need to stay alive. The sound barrier used aggressively to go rushing forward. Daisy, low energy, but they still get Molly. The grab about to be online. The support's now gone. Marvel pops that primal, manages to stay alive, gets at the very last moments, but there's just so much damage and there's no healing, there's no peel, so he will crumble. The OT starts bleeding away. The translocate out attack back in from Becky. Pops the recall.
Oh,
they continue to force it out, but he slept again. Monk just continues to nail him. 170%. We are going the distance. Well, will decide it all.
My goodness. Whew. It's not going to be 6 maps,
for the
but
wicked.
With the extra pauses at the start of the series, I mean, I might as well call it 6 at this point.
Yeah.
Full distance will be gained.
Which
here.
pause? The first one?
Just looking.
Or the second one?
Let's take a look at the replay here. No, let's not take a look at the replay.
So we are not prepared.
That was a giant lie, in fact. Fibs have been told.
Look at this screenshot. Wow. Well.
Becky surely starts on an Echo here. This is one of the prime maps for an Echo.
Okay, double TP forward.
I think that would be strong for them.
Okay, Tracer
again. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but
he has
we'll see how this goes. Lengsa has changed up a little bit now, going towards the Brig. I think he was previously on the Lucio, was he not?
Leaving the back line. He's trying to get on top of the supports. You can see him right there off screen. Gets the hack on a Molly. Jinmu immediately comes diving in. They're unable to find that opening kill. He kites back, but now he's stuck in the corner. Marvel catches him. Jinmu down. Daisy as well in danger of going out. The bubbles do keep him alive for a little bit longer. He manages to retreat over towards Monk and Nisha. Marvel continues to push the limits here. Dropping down. Anti be damned. He does not care. Monk eventually does get claimed. Becky finds that killing blow.
Oh,
gets Nisha to boot. That is a huge stagger.
It's a pulse. He has pulse already.
Get back in.
Look at the damage. He already has a pulse. It's been one fight. A single fight man's got pulse so far. And Chengdu, Nisha slept by the way, losing everybody there. I think they might have had one sneak away, but it was disastrous nonetheless, and it was maximum stagger because you started to see the original players dead, including Jinmu, respawn as Monk and Nisha die. So in terms of a time buy, Valiant get the best that they can possibly get out of that kill.
I mean, Becky's ult build time has to be one of the fastest in the league when it comes to Tracer. I would love to see the leaderboard in that regard. Daisy now under a heavy amount of duress, and he is going to crumble. Marvel finds the kill. Jinmu makes his exit. Becky continues to hunt. He says, you know what? I can build up pulse bomb so rapidly. I'm looking for someone to stick this one to.
Nano's coming up. I can tell you right now, his average time earned for ultimate is 107. 1 minute, 7 seconds is the average time.
It feels a hell of a lot faster than that, to be frank.
Like I said, average, so I mean, like, his fast end would be incredible. Monk gets the easy hunt here.
That takes the EMP out of the equation. Becky slept.
Oh my God,
Monk continues to be the one guy that can deal with Becky, it would seem. Gets that kill. Marvel trying to knock some people here into the pit. Instead, will just settle for juggling Daisy away from the rest of his squad. Jinmu receiving that bubble. Does manage to go ahead and grab that health pack, but Nisha going to be taken down. Now the sound barrier out of the equation for the Chengdu Hunters as they desperately look for this flip. It's 90% on the board here for the side of the Valiant. Molly taking a little bit of damage, will eventually die. Jinmu gives his life for that pick, but Lee finds Marvel, so it's a trade-up at the end of the day here for the Chengdu Hunters. And a boost out on the Daisy, the grab, nearly online. The flip needs to come through, and it's there. The very last moments.
This is as close to just securing this entire series as Valiant can possibly be. 99%. They are 1% away from beating the Chengdu Hunters and maybe escaping 7th place. But it's 4 ults from the Chengdu Hunters currently. Looking to snowball their way back into action. EMP on the hunt is Leave. What can he find? Nano Blade first? No, just a regular Blade.
Blade pulled.
Passive though.
Yeah, they keep him at distance. And as he dashes in, Easy Hunt strikes him down. EMP, however, not going to be able to be used. Leave manages to find him. Easy Hunt now out of the equation. The grab, not going to be able to find too much either. EMP catches the rest of the Valiant members. Hits 4, but yeah, because Jinmu is not there. They don't have the damage. They can't follow up.
Jinmu's on Reaper now.
Nano now going to be invested. Goes over to Marvel. He's looking for a target. Sound barrier in response from Nisha. Just trying to keep everybody alive. Monk surging his way back up to another Nano. The EMP finally comes in from Easy Hunt. He's been holding this one for so damn long. And he instantly finds 2 kills off the back of it. Asleep from Monk, tries to buy a little bit of time, but it does not last long at all. 4 members now dead. Nisha finding 1. The flip getting ready to come back through for the Valiant. Nisha needs to buy some time, but he himself is at risk. He is spotted. He is noted. He is about to die, and he is dead. DOT bleeds away, and I don't know if they can get here. Leave. He does touch in. Translocates out. Daisy now re-arriving. The Nano from Monk going to be necessary. As Daisy goes slower and lower. They're trying to keep him alive, but Leave gets eliminated here. Looking for the boot, trying to send Daisy down into the pit. Not going to happen. The Nano is there onto Daisy. Becky holding onto the pulse bomb. Could just end everything in one fell swoop. Monk now gone. Daisy, low HP, dead. Molly finds the kill. And surely the Valiant have done it. Jinmu taken out. The pulse bomb goes in. Nisha is eliminated. And they have done it here after all. 3 rounds of Ilios. 5 maps played. The LA Valiant will once again take out the Chengdu Hunters.
And the LA Valiant so far this entire season have only 5 wins. Make it number 6. Get another one on the board. They are only 1 point away from catching the Guangzhou Charge now, from escaping the depths of 7th place, where they would be automatically eliminated from all play-ins and playoffs contention. The LA Valiant live another day, keeping their heads above water. But I gotta say, they're currently thriving in this meta. They look like one of the better teams, and maybe even, dare I say, one of the best teams in the East in this particular meta in the Countdown Cup. If there is a chance, if there is any chance in hell for the LA Valiant to get some real distance, it's happening right now in this month, in this stage. And I gotta say, you have to be a little bit worried if you are the Charge. I mean, this result is in some ways equally good and bad for the Charge. It does mean that Chengdu Hunters are kept at bay, allowing the Charge to maybe catch up and overtake the Hunters, but it also means that the Valiant are catching up to the Charge, so it's really not that positive for them. But one team it's amazing for is the LA Valiant, and Becky, you already knew what was going to happen. He's the player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, this one is so clear-cut. Everybody on the side of the Valiant playing, you know, impressively here today, but Becky was a cut above the rest. And several cuts above the Chengdu Hunters. Whether it was the Tracer, whether it was the Echo, he just looked impeccable. And he has been looking insane this whole way throughout. I mean, honestly, was kind of shocked seeing him, you know, have his debut in the Valiant. I was like, Sky, this kid is actually so damn impressive. And he is just putting up solid figures.
Yeah, I think in the early stage of the year, it was a bit slow going for everybody in the Valiant, you know, Becky included. We look over towards the Summer Showdown meta. I think that was probably some of the worst results for the Valiant, and, you know, generally speaking, not a great space for either the Tracer or the Echo to be played. And sure, Becky's Genji was part of it. That's been probably one of his weaker heroes, but I'm glad that in this particular meta right now in the Countdown Cup, he gets to play his 2 solid picks, the Tracer and the Echo. He showed just how good his Tracer could be versus the Seoul Dynasty, currently the best team in the region. And now, you know, some of the stats we're seeing here for Becky's Echo. Now, he mainly played it on, I think it's kind of like 2 maps here. Specifically, the one map that I kind of go back to that I talk about is the the Eichenwalde map, where he got 16,407 damage, 38% of his entire team's damage on that entire map, basically playing Echo alone. So he farmed up more than half of these stats basically on that single map, and Becky really showed what he was capable of. I think if you combined his entire stats from across all 5 maps, it would balloon to something insane.
Just nutty performance from Becky, and big congratulations to the Valiant, who just seemingly have the Chengdu Hunters number, a 6th series